today. All right, I'd like to call this City Commission meeting to order, our regular scheduled meeting for June 17th. We will start our meeting off this evening with our invocation from Pastor Dr. Chris Wingford from First Baptist Church. Good to see you, Pastor. And we'll also do the Pledge of Allegiance. So if we could all stand, please.
Thank you. Let's pray together. Heavenly Father, we come before you today as you are the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords. You're the Alpha and the Omega. And we come before you today with grateful hearts. You tell us to give thanks in all circumstances and in all things. And so, Father, we come before you to say thank you for our great city. We thank you for all the blessings that you have bestowed upon us as the people, as the businesses, and as the leaders and families within this great city. Again, thank you for everything that you have given us. We pray for the members of this council. We pray for our mayor, our city staff, first responders, and every person who serves in the public. Father, we pray that you would grant them wisdom and discernment as they make so many decisions regarding our great city. Father, your word says if anyone lacks wisdom, we should ask and that you will give it. And so, Father, today, we ask that you would grant us wisdom, which comes from you alone, from wisdom up on high. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor. Now we'll move on to item number 1 on our agenda this evening, adoption of the June 17th, 2026 regular scheduled meeting minute agenda. Ladies, do we have any addendums or subtractions to our agenda this evening? Gotcha.
I have several addendums
Go ahead.
to the agenda. Under recognitions, presentations, award, I move that we defer item number 2, proclamation presentation to Carla Arbery, founder of Stopping Ongoing Legal Oppression Solo Advocacy Group, honoring the life and legacy of Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson Sr. until July the 15th, 2026 commission meeting. I'd like to add as item number 2A, proclamation recognizing Friday, June the 19th, 2026 as Juneteenth. Under appointments, I move that we defer items number 1 and 2 under appointments until the July the 15th, 2026 commission meeting. Under items to consider for approval, I move that we add item number 9, consider approval to cancel July the 1st, 2026 regular scheduled commission meeting. And I move to add item number 10, consider approval of probation services contract between the City of Brunswick and Southeast Corrections.
Thank you. Do I have a motion on the floor to make an amendment to the agenda? Do I have a second? So we have a first and a second on the floor. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of the amended agenda, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes unanimously. Now that we have that agenda amended, I'd ask for a motion to approve the amended agenda.
Mayor Pro Tem, I move that we approve the amended agenda for June the 17th, 2026 regular scheduled meeting.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes unanimously. Thank you. I'll move on to public comments. Madam Clerk, do we have anybody that signed up for a public comment this evening?
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem, we have Meredith Grill.
Meredith Grill would like to come to the front. Meredith, will you please just state your name and your address and share with us?
Hello, my name is Meredith Grill. My address is 1617 Norwich Street. I am the business owner of La Playa Park. Good evening, Mayor Pro Temp and commissioners and city officials. Thank you for hearing me today. Me, along with my business partner, Joe Cassio, we started La Playa Park on Norwich Street about a month ago. This is an indoor-outdoor event venue, food truck park, and community business hub. While many people know that we offer a full bar with live entertainment and events, the majority of our business does come from food sales. We have partnered with several local businesses that serve full-time during our hours of operation, two of which are full-time food trucks and one permanent bakery, as well as Farm 99 farm stand for access to local produce and goods. We are open Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Before opening, we spent over 2 years transforming a vacant and dilapidated property on Norwich Street into what is now a thriving community hub for all people of all ages and backgrounds. The building had homeless squatters and significant structural issues, didn't have plumbing and electric for over 40 years. So we put a lot of time, effort, and investment into this property. Throughout that process, we worked closely with a lot of city staff, community organizations, and local leaders who encouraged this vision and of creating a destination in downtown Brunswick that brought people together and we could all contribute to the revitalization of Norwich Street. Unfortunately, since opening, we've encountered concerns regarding noise complaints from one neighboring resident. I want to be clear that we respect our neighbors and want to be good members of this community. And we've already taken steps to try to work this out directly and come to a compromise. We have put up 10-foot high privacy fencing and intentionally limit our entertainment hours. Our entertainment schedule is generally limited to Friday evenings from 6 to 9 p.m. for a DJ for Latin and reggae dance nights, Saturday evenings from 6 to 9 p.m. for local bands, Sunday brunch music from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for some single or duo acts for brunch, and Monday night karaoke from 6 to 9 p.m., with 9 p.m. being the latest time of day that we offer entertainment outside. What has been challenging is that concerns regarding the interpretation and enforcement of this noise ordinance were not brought to our attention during the several years of planning, permitting, and investment that has gone into this project. Had these concerns been identified earlier, we would have had a greater opportunity to evaluate them before committing several hundreds of thousands of dollars into this business model that kind of relies on this entertainment schedule. My goal tonight is not to dismiss the concerns of nearby residents. Rather, I'm asking for clarity, consistency, and collaboration. I want to understand what's expected of businesses like mine and work together to find a solution that balances the needs of the residents along with businesses that want to come in and revitalize and provide these group entertainment opportunities for the city. So we were created to be a positive asset for Brunswick and especially Norwich Street, and we remain committed to being responsible neighbors, to be a diverse place where families, visitors, and local businesses can all come together and enjoy the downtown. This is actually our second revitalization project on Norwich Street, and we'd like some assistance as we continue to move further down the street and try to continue what we've been building here. We recognize the concerns that have been raised, and we are actively exploring additional sound mitigation measures within our fenced entertainment area. As a new business, we've only been operating for a month, so this requires some time and investment, but we are committed to making these things happen, including sound barriers for our fence. We've also explored the possibility of obtaining a special events permit for our recurring entertainment schedule that's set and doesn't change. And that's part of why I'm here tonight, to seek guidance and a next course of action. I believe that there's a path that we can all find to move forward together and work in everybody's interests, and I'm committed to being part of that solution. So thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you so much, Meredith. Appreciate you bringing this to our attention. May or may not know during public comment period, we don't kind of engage back and forth, but we take your concerns seriously, and we'll get together with staff, and I'm sure we'll have some circle up and round up meetings as a group to discuss moving forward.
Okay,
So thank you for.
thank you.
Do we have anybody else for public comment this evening?
Mayor Pro Tem, that concludes public comment.
Thank you very much. We'll move on to item number 2A, which is the proclamation for our Juneteenth. I'm just going to read the fancy one. All right, so we have a proclamation this evening, so I'll just read this. We don't have anybody that's going to be accepting this. This is in general for the city. So whereas President Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation on January 1st, 1863, which granted freedom to all enslaved, although freedom did not become reality for the unslaved people of Texas. And whereas on June 19th, 1865, Major General Gordon Granger issued General Order Number 3, sharing the residents of Galveston, Texas, that in accordance with the Emancipation Proclamations, all slaves are free. And whereas Juneteenth commemorates the end of slavery in the United States, and whereas Juneteenth is recognized nationally and celebrates Black American freedom and achievement while encouraging helping to promote knowledge and appreciation of Black American history, resilience, family, community, and culture. And whereas we honor the legacy of those who first reserved the news on that unforgettable day in Galveston and pledge to continue our efforts to lift up the importance and history of Juneteenth to advance equity and inclusion for all members of our community. Now, therefore, Lance Saby, Mayor Pro Tem, and my fellow commissioners do hereby proclaim Friday, June 19th, 2026 as Juneteenth in the city of Brunswick, and we urge all our residents to reflect on the value of freedom and justice for all. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I'd like to add, there are several events are going on within the community in celebration of Juneteenth. I just want to Thursday, June the 18th, we have a lecture series by Dr. Kyle Fox at College of Coastal Georgia. Friday, June the 19th, we have, there will be a concert, musical concert at the Ritz. And you also have the Juneteenth Ball at Chapman Event Center. Saturday, June the 20th, you have an annual bike ride and a festival held at Selden Park. So the community is really, there are several community partners that are really making this celebration for all. So it's for everyone to come out to enjoy those different events, especially, I'm just talking about the Friday night. It's a jazz concert. You will have Phil Morrison and Ken Trimmins. So it will be at the Ritz. So thank you.
Thank you for adding those details. Appreciate that. All right, we will now move on to agenda item number 3. One of the fun things we get to do as a commission, recognition of a couple of our retirees. First, we have Miss Lori Banks. Miss, come on up. So I'm going to read this wonderful retirement certificate in recognition of 6 years of hard work and dedication to the city of Brunswick, Roosevelt Harris Jr. Senior Citizen Center. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'll go.
Get you coming down. All right.
Right, now we have Miss Janice Moore. Is Janice here? Come on up. This is a retirement certificate presented to Miss Janice Moore in recognition of 12 years of hard work and dedication to the city of Brunswick, Roosevelt Harris Jr. Senior Center.
You guys.
Okay, I think that covers our recognition, presentations, and awards this evening. So we'll move on to our appointment items. Moving down to item number 3, our Pension Advisory Committee. We have one appointment to make there. So we have one term of a person that's expiring. We have a few names that have been submitted. Turn it over to my fellow commissioners for any motion or discussion. Yes, ma'am.
Mayor, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I'd like to make a motion for the Pension Advisory Committee. I move that we appoint Paige Browning to the Pension Advisory Committee. She is for reappointment.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a first and a second to reappoint Ms. Paige Browning to the Pension Advisory Committee. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Ms. Browning, appreciate your service. Next on our agenda is we have one appointment for the Historic Preservation Board, taking this term that expired for Mr. Jerry Spencer, the late Mr. Jerry Spencer. We have one name that's been submitted, Mr. Patrick Cheek. Patrick, are you here? Patrick, would you mind come on up? We'd love to meet you. If you don't mind, just tell us just a little bit about yourself and why you'd like to serve on this board.
Sure, absolutely. My name is Patrick Cheek. I'm a fairly recent transplant to here in Glenn County, Golden Isles. I've been here about 10 months. My partner and I relocated for work, and we have absolutely fallen in love with the community. We love every aspect of what we've found here. Love the history, love the architecture, and would love to be a part of it. When we first moved here, we were kind of under the gun, so we were renting in Windsor Park. And here about a month ago, we purchased a home in Windsor Park. And so now that we've done that, we want to become more involved in the community. And I saw this opportunity and I thought, well, I'm just going to throw my hat in the ring, see what happens.
Awesome. Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Cheek?
Yes, Mr. Cheek, where are you from? Or where you moved from, basically?
Yes, ma'am. So I grew up originally in a little town called Cochran, just south of Macon.
Okay.
And then did my undergrad at UGA. And then I was in California for a few years and moved back. I was in Macon area for about 4 years. And then my partner and I were in Douglas before we moved here for work.
And what type of occupation or work you do?
Sure. I work for the Jekyll Island Authority. I work for the Director of Retail Operations out there.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Additional questions, Commissioner?
Just
Rowe?
thanking you for being willing to serve, and welcome to the Golden Isles.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Thank you. With that, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor Pro Tem, I move that we approve the appointment for Mr. Patrick Cheek for serving on the Historic Preservation Board.
I have a first, do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes unanimously. Thank you for your service. Appreciate it. We look forward to seeing you again.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay. All right, now we'll move on our agenda down to updates. We'll start with the revitalization program grant application, Ms. Cassidy Taylor and Mr. Matthew Hill.
Good evening, Mayor or Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners. I'm just up here to introduce our newest employee, Cassidy Taylor. She's been with us a little over 2 months.
Yep.
And she came to us from the Northeast Georgia Regional Commission.
Florida. Yes.
Northeast Florida, sorry, yeah. She is going to do the presentation. I just wanted to introduce her to you.
Awesome. Thank you, ma'am.
Good evening, Commissioners. Thank
Good
you for
evening.
having me this evening. My name is Cassidy Taylor. I'm the new Development Associate at the DDA. I'm coming to you this evening to inform you of the DDA's application for the Paul Brune Historic Revitalization Grant Program through the National Park Service. The DDA is applying for $750,000 to establish a sub-grant program to preserve and rehabilitate historic commercial properties across the entire city. If awarded, the DDA will administer grants between $5,000 and $50,000 to local historic commercial property owners to do projects such as roof replacements, window repairs, accessibility improvements, and a variety of other things. This program will utilize the previously established Commercial Property Enhancement Program that was funded through ARPA around 2023. And having successfully completed this program in the past, that not only gives our application a competitive scoring advantage, but also will serve as a great basis if we are awarded this grant funding. When implemented, the outcome of this grant is to stimulate the local economy, reinvesting in underutilized historic properties and supporting small businesses. The DDA is not requesting any action from the City Commission at this time, but I'm available for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies?
No, thank you. How's it been going for the
Yeah.
first month?
It's been great. It's been awesome. Thank you.
Good, good.
I did have one question.
Yes, ma'am.
On the application, I was looking at items that would not be funded, and I
Yes.
just want to make sure. So I'll just tell you this, well, it says commercial property. Okay. Because I would be asking Matthew based off of like historic churches or historic buildings. Yeah, I know. That's what I was reading.
Yeah, commercial income producing properties is how it is, those limitations are from the federal level. They're not just our limitations. So improvements to the inside would be limited to accessibility for ADA compliance, maybe an elevator or making a restroom ADA compliant, but other interior modifications would not be eligible. And also any project that's awarded the grant, there would be a facade easement that, so in essence, the National Park Service would own the facade of the building for a period of 5 years after the grant's given.
Thank you.
Any additional questions?
Well, Ms. Taylor, by chance, have you identified any particular commercial property within the city limits that could benefit if we are with this grant?
Yes, absolutely. So this grant is, in the application, it's intended that the program would be competitive if the funding is awarded. So we weren't able to say we want to target X, Y, and Z sites. However, we were able to include photographs of buildings that potentially could be eligible for application if awarded the funds. And so we did an assessment of most of the city of Brunswick, also focusing on the downtown development authority boundaries, identifying sites along Norwich Street, along Newcastle Street. We also identified in the application the Glen Ice Company, which is a bit outside of the borders, but of the DDA district, but within the city limits. So yes.
On George Street?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Ice Company on
Yes.
George. Yeah,
Mhm.
okay, that's wonderful to know. Thank you.
So we'll appreciate the update. Thank you very much. Look forward to hearing if we get it.
Yes, thank you.
Moving on, we have a update from our IT department, Mr. Blanco. Doing great.
You?
For a nice long weekend?
Wish.
You wish? Oh, that kind of day. All right. So we're going to start with our mission statement. Really, all it's saying is I'm going to give you, and my team are going to give you a high effective operational environment at a low cost and promptly and reliable. And that's what we've been trying to do since I got here in November 2022. So me, 2027 to 2022, all IT services except for the police department. Oh, wrong one. Back up. Live demos are death. All right. Before we were here, we had a solo IT administrator. Understandable support challenge. Under standardized support channels. We're mostly using a bad ticketing system, didn't follow any ITSM or SLAs, mainly because there's only really one person. Reactive infrastructure management, so we had no monitoring systems. In case of problems, it would have to be somebody calling us saying that something wasn't working. So we were there. We were also using really used and refurbished equipment. They were not buying anything really with enterprise grade warranties, and we were mostly using an outsourced MSP for all our internet cybersecurity and disaster recovery options. Also, we were not in charge of the Brunswick Police Department's IT department. Operational leadership was with the assistant chief till 2024. He also did not have anything from the above, as well as buying used and refurbished equipment, and was very proud of that. Also, a lot of old legacy software applications across all critical operations for the police department. And also, we did not work well with the city IT department. Moving forward with our timeline, in October 2022, the single admin decided he was moving on right after he had hired two technical specialists, Lejada Banfield and Jeffrey Crocker, who are still with us and are a great part of our team. I was hired in November 2022 and came on as the director of information technology to restructure and lead the department. In January 2023, we started our framework implementation to align with the ITIL framework and have IT and ITSM operating model. We'll have more of that in a minute. Engineering capacity, in February 2024, we hired Andrea Massey as our junior network administrator. She's working with our MSP, learning the systems, and we'll be taking over probably in the next year of all configuration and working with our network. Then in July of 2024, the assistant chief decided he was going to retire, and city took on all of the IT work at the city, moving Jeffrey Crocker over as the on-site technician resource and cross-departmental communications liaison. Can't believe I actually typed that. So he is assigned there and working with the police, and as we are working through getting things updated and new equipment and software installed at the police department. So what is ITSM? ITSM is a model of organizing and delivering technology on the ITIL framework. I am ITIL certified. I'm due for recertification this year in ITIL 5. ITIL 3 is what I was certified in. Lejada Banfield got certified last year. So the two of us are working on this. Think of it as ITSM as a restaurant, serving menus, taking orders, preparing food. That's what ITSM is, and ITIL is the master cookbook and training guide for everything, for the staff, exactly how to run the kitchen. So think of it that way, but for IT. So to start our process with that, we put in a new ticketing system that is SLA driven, as well as works with a in the ITM structure. And this removed the email walk up, hey, my thing is broken, please come fix it. So that's why you will always, if you do come to us and say that, we will say, could you put a ticket in? That would be fabulous. We've also, part of that software also does asset management. We are still working on our asset management part of it, getting all our assets into the system to start really being able to work on life cycle of hardware and software. So that, and I think day one, I got the monitoring system up and running. Right now we're using, we try and use as much open source software as we can to limit costs. So the monitoring software is open source. So since we put in the ticketing system, this is how many tickets have been put in per department. Notice that the police are at 1,157. That is a year after we started this process. So since July 19th, 2024, that's how many tickets they have put in. And that just tells you how wonderful the IT systems are over there right now. The next highest one, I think, was Human Resources. And that's only because they put in all new employees in there for us to set up their systems. So a lot of those are just service requests, not incident requests. So projects completed in since we started in November 2022. The first one that we had to do was the legacy AT services for internet, move that to Peerless Telco. And that was started with by my predecessor. So I just had to keep moving with that one. Then in the last year and year and a half, we migrated from Peerless to Live Oak Fiber at all our locations. So we're very happy with that. Also, second thing we did on my watch was migrate from Verizon and other cell phone companies to AT&T FirstNet for all of the city-owned cell phones. And last year, I think it was last year, we moved to the new phone system, the Nextiva system, mainly because we could configure what we had in the basement of City Hall. And it was, we were paying somebody to make moves and changes, and it was just ridiculous, and it irritated me. So we moved that. It's also cost us, it's cheaper for what we're doing. So ongoing projects, still working on standardizing IT governance throughout the city, as well as continuing our ITSM improvements and strengthening cybersecurity posture by we're working on cybersecurity training for all city employees, new and old. We'll be rolling that hopefully out September. We're still working on it and working on getting it approved. For the Brunswick PD, we're working on workstation lifecycle refresh. They have some old machines that need to be upgraded and moved on. So we're still working on that. Infrastructure modernization, they also have a lot of old server equipment that we have to start upgrading and moving out. Getting them all on the same version of Office. They're using a version, some people are still using a version of Office 2018, I think. And so we're getting them all into O365 and also working together. Both the police department and the city IT are working completely together. So that is also a good thing. Projects for fiscal year 2026, the City Hall switch stack replacement, which bit you all last meeting. We have the switches in the basement of City Hall are the hub for all communications to all cities, all the city buildings. And they have rebooted themselves. They're at the end of life. So we will be hopefully getting new ones in the next 3 months. Perimeter scurry refresh, we have some end-of-life firewalls that we're going to have to deal with closer to the end of fiscal year, but they will be coming up. Starting our lifecycle management of all hardware for the city, as well as finishing off the Windows 11 upgrades and getting Windows 10 out of here. And the other big one, which is very much needed these days, is the public records collection software. Right now, it's a total cluster. So having software that is specifically for this, web-based, that we can put our documents in and have it automatically find emails and text messages that we need and be able to redact things right off that software and then make the reports or electronically send it to whoever is asking for that record request. So you guys approved my budget. We're getting that. And that's all I got. So
Awesome. Thank you.
there you are. Any questions?
Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, well, we also did a lot of questioning of other cities on our own as well as looking at what the top ones are. And this is about not the top one because that was at our price range, but yes. Cost of it, I do not remember. It's just out of my head right now, and also is the name, and I didn't even put it in my notes. So I will send that to you. It's not that I just, yep, I know. It just is just gone right out of my head today. I'm sorry. Other cities use it. Pros is that it'll attach right to our email system, so we don't have to go to individual email boxes to find it. We'll be able to have it search by name. Mayor Pro Tem, we can just use his name, and then it will go in, pull his information, and then we can do searches for keywords that Brian will give us, and then Brian will be able to go into these reports and go through and redact what needs to be redacted or remove what doesn't have to be in there. And then text messaging is the same sort of thing. We would still need you to bring your phone. We would connect it to one of our computers that has the client on it. It goes in, same thing, pulls it in, does the search, and then pulls it into the software so that it can be redacted, checked, and make sure everything is correct. And we just want it because it takes the way Microsoft changed the way they did it right in our service, and it takes forever. I actually had to do an 8-hour course one day to figure out how to use it.
Now, what's the name of this software again?
I do not remember. I will
Okay.
let you know in a minute. Sorry. Logical. Thank you.
Logical.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry.
Say again.
KUL.
K.
Logic, KULL. Sorry, ma'am.
Oh,
It's been a long day.
So the system that, because it's an open records request, same thing as Commissioner Axon Williams was saying. So now the program that we have, it takes about how long for you all to get?
So for us to do, we'll pick one of the ones that came in today. That will take me to do email about 5 days to do at the most, or at the least, depending on how many keywords we have to do, how many emails boxes we have to search. So it's a lot. Whereas this it's built right into it. We just put in who we need to look for and then keyword it, and it does it very quickly, much quicker.
I'll repeat that publicly. So it takes 5 days, okay?
Yes, at least.
And then what about at least 5 days? Okay. And I want to put that out there, knowing that, you all have to do your jobs daily.
Yes.
If they submit for open records request, it might take a
Yes.
good minute, right?
Yeah.
5 days.
At least.
You're off on Friday. We're closed on Saturday and on Sunday. So now it's going.
Let's say 5 work days.
Correct.
birthdays.
Okay. And that's if I don't have anything blow up or have to do anything.
Thank
exciting.
you.
I think this
That-
question is for Attorney Court.
Yeah, I was going to say that 5 days, I would multiply
That
that.
was for me to find
Right. I
stuff.
mean,
That's not to get it to Brian. That's to get it to Brian.
Okay, so really, within the 3-day window, I'm just trying to understand the process. Now, let me finish, City Manager. We just need to give acknowledgement, I don't know why it's echoing, but acknowledgement to the requester that we are working on it and blah, 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 within the 3 days. But that doesn't mean you have to actually produce what they requested. That's why I want to make sure.
The law requires that we acknowledge receipt, provide a reasonable time frame if we can determine one, and identify whether or not the response will likely exceed the cost of the response will likely exceed $25. I would say in most cases, if we're able to, we get responses out very fast and often do not charge excessive fees. But if it is a large request like we are seeing recently, then yes, we would provide that information up front and then work on it internally.
Thank you.
Welcome. Anything else, folks?
Do you have any additional questions, Commissioner? I have a couple real quick,
All right.
Director. You mentioned, we have a lot of stuff stored in the bottom of City Hall. I'm just curious if we have some flood mitigation measures in place or plan.
So we have our virtual servers are also in the basement, our hosts. So when the switches, they can be I don't care about those,
Yeah.
but the servers, the last time what was the big one? Helene was supposed to come in. I moved. At that point, we had one virtual server. I moved that up to the second floor and just stashed it in the hallway and got it up and running so that we could still work. And the main reason that is because it's got New World on it. So that's one reason why we're looking at a cloud-based accounting software, so we don't have to worry about that.
Yep.
Right? And we can be able to work on it anywhere. So that's what we do. If there's a name storm coming in, I'm heffing that thing up. And supposedly, before I got here, the rule was to put it in the elevator and just put it halfway up
Okay.
and stop the elevator. So
As long,
I at least get it up and running so
Yeah.
we can use it.
I think that's the important part is that you have a plan that we
Mhm.
have a plan to keep up and running. And if people
Part of our
are
thing is
in or whatever,
We have to start
operate.
working on our disaster recovery plan. And
Yeah.
that's something that's on my list to do as
Awesome.
well.
Thank you. The other thing we talked about, Chief Smith's police department and energy and effort you put over there, but I didn't hear anything about the fire department. So I'm curious if we have. any
Fire department
technology
is
at the
really-
plan, what?
Fire department has always been under the city IT
Okay.
department.
Uh-huh.
So they were always part of our upgrade plan.
Okay.
So they were part of that inventory for upgrade. Whereas when it was just the police doing their own thing,
I got you.
I didn't even go over there
Sure.
very much just to.
So all three of us are all connected.
Now we're all together and now the police are part of our whole inventory for IT equipment. The only odd thing they have are the laptops that go into the cars.
Gotcha. And then the last question is, excited that we upgraded to Live Oak, but we obviously had a challenge a week ago with their outage. So I was just curious if, kind of if we have like what's our disaster plan for them? Like if we have a service goes out, like how does that affect our service delivery to our citizens?
So most of, I'll go
Nobody
back
does
to when,
100%
I'll go back to
understand, yeah.
when I worked for the engineering firm, he used to tell us to the owner, when you have fiber, really the only thing that's going to take fiber out is a guy with a backhoe. And that is what happened in 2 separate locations
Correct.
the other day.
Correct.
So it's very rare. And especially with Live Oak being underground, it's
Mhm.
even rarer that it's going to go out. But our plan at that point is we would put the Wi-Fi units from Verizon down the basement if it's going to be a long thing, and just run because they have the Ethernet port. So we would get it so that things will work, and that's for us to be able to use everything. But the county's also in Live Oak, so they're down as well at the same time.
Yeah.
But what was interesting, we were down, but the city hall didn't go down, which was really weird, but I don't know. So,
Good stuff. So we
Yeah.
would switch to cellular as our backup.
Yeah, that's what I would
and
do.
Do that on a minimum and
yeah.
awesome.
Yep.
Great. That's all.
All right.
Thank
Anything
you.
else?
Appreciate it. No,
All right, guys. Have a great day.
All right. All right. Now move on to items to consider for approval. Consider approval of our June 3rd, 2026 regular scheduled meeting minutes. Have a motion?
Mayor Pro Tem, I move that we approve the June 3rd regular scheduled meeting minutes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Madam Clerk, we don't have any other modifications or changes to those minutes? Great, thank you. No further discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion passes unanimously. Item number 7, consider approval of memorandum of understanding between the City of Brunswick and Glenn County regarding fire training facility. Chief.
Good evening. I'm here tonight to discuss the agreement between the county and city fire training facility. Historically, in the past, we've always worked well together with the county for training, as we have a training facility in the city of Brunswick. About 2.5 years ago, we called the Georgia Fire Academy with the city manager's approval and got approval from them to become, after a lot of work, we got approval from them to become recognized as a regional training site. After that, we were able to start our own basic fire academy training. The county was offered that as well. They agreed to send some candidates to that and have done so in the last 3, I think this is the 4th one coming up, before coming up. Historically, it's worked well together, but we found out after me and the chief was discussing about it, we've never had a real MOU for training. After talking with the city manager, him talking with the county, we decided to charge our assistant chiefs, Cargile and Miss Vera, with the city and county attorneys to come up with an MOU. And I'm sure the city attorney will be glad to wrap this up, as it's been ongoing for a while. But basically, it's an agreement between the city and county, whereas the county will provide now a $25,000 annual payment, which will be utilized to enhance our training, and it will be paid in 4 quarterly payments of $62.50. And it's a 5-year agreement, and it can be canceled, I think, 90 days with either party. And we're here tonight to ask for the Mayor Pro Tem and Commission to approve this and ask that the Mayor Pro Tem sign this agreement. But I would also like to ask the Chief if he would like to say anything.
Come on up, Vinny. No disrespect, Vinny, but I never can say your last name, so come on.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, Commissioners. My name is Vincent DiCristofalo, Fire Chief, Glenn County Fire Rescue, for the record. And Chief and the City Attorney are correct. This has been an ongoing process for about 2.5 years getting this MOU in place. Over the years, the city and Glenn County have had a great working relationship together. We train together, we respond together. And this MOU for the training site further cements that partnership and commitment to one fight when we're responding out to these emergency incidents from the fire side. This is a fee for use agreement. And as Chief White said, either party can cancel at any time throughout the 5-year period that the MOU is good for.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any questions from please? I would say I'm just excited, of course, appreciate the partnership that we have together. As you both probably are aware that, we were a little disappointed with some congressional funding that we've been trying to work on for a couple of years to enhance our training facility with the Swiftwater Rescue. We will have a newly elected official in that position on the House side coming up starting next year. So I look forward to all of us working together to continue to lobby for that funding. I think it's key. I know, Chief, you guys are getting a great new fire station over there, and I think we're all talking about new EMA headquarters and all that stuff. So I love the partnership. Look forward to continuing to work together. I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor Pro Tem, I'd like to make the motion. I move that we approve the memorandum of understanding between the City of Brunswick and Glenn County regarding Fire Training Center.
Do I have a second?
Second.
So I have a first and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. That passes unanimously. Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll now move on to item number 8. Consider approval of resolution 2602, the adoption of, I'm sorry. We added a couple things here. What? No, we're gonna do number 8, under consider items for approval.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
correct. The resolution 2602, adoption of fiscal year 26-27 budget, Ms. McDuffie.
Good evening. We started our budget process, of course, back in March, and the budget presentation, we have been pretty much on schedule. Our presentation and our approval of the proposed budget was on May 20th. We had a public hearing the following week. We've had several meetings with the commission as well as with the departments throughout the process. Our budget was presented, general fund at $24,567,838, a 2.2% or 2.3% increase. Throughout our review process, there are some recommended changes. These were recommended by the commission, and of course, the commission is, it's up to you all to approve or make some revisions to these changes. The changes made to revenue was to add the opioid fund, a transfer to provide funding for the co-responder position, which is budgeted in the police department. $48,000 was proposed to be transferred for that. I also decreased the appropriated fund balance just to balance the budget. Decreased it by $11,926. And the total budget being proposed at this point with that change is $24,603,912, which is a 2.4% increase. To the expenditures, we added funding, or the recommended change was to add funding for a part-time position in the clerk's office at $31,200. We also added $70,874 to the pension contribution to ensure that we met the minimum contribution for the calendar year. And also, we realized that $9,000 was not budgeted for insurance that's normally paid through the Recreation Department. The changes to the budget was a net addition of $36,074. Leaving the general fund budget at $24,603,912. The other funds that we budgeted, we have 22 other funds that we budgeted. 2 of those are not being budgeted this year. The CDBG disaster recovery is listed, but we don't have, that is being closed out as of 2026. And the SPLOST 5 is on the list, but we don't budget for that because there's no more money to be spent. We were just showing the actual on the chart. The other funds that we budget, we have 9 special revenue funds, including the state and local confiscated fund at $72,000, the federal confiscated funds at $12,800, the opioid settlement fund at $48,000, the E911 fund at $720,000, the ARPA fund, which is the interest proceeds for the ARPA, at $880,000, the Roosevelt Harris Center, which is $486,000, the Hotel Motel Tax Fund, which is $65,000, the City Dock Fund at $120,000, the Norwich Common Fund at $400,000. In addition to the special revenue funds, we have grant funds, including the DOT LMIG fund at $500,000. We have the CHIP grant fund at $500,000. We have the CDBG entitlement fund at $385,000. We have the OPB budget funds at $978,000. And then we have our operating funds, including our CDBG Neighborhood Administration Fund at $266,365,000. We have the Housing Redevelopment Fund at $629,401,000. The Stormwater Utility Fund at $1,215,000. The Sanitation Fund at $2,050,000. And the Mass Transit Fund at $1,524,281. That leaves a total other funds budgeted at $20,058,060. The general fund added to that, $24,603,000, has a total budgeted funds of $44,661,972. Those are the budgeted funds that are being requested for approval, and I will answer any questions.
Thank you, Ms. McDuffie. Any questions from the commission?
Miss, you don't?
Go ahead.
I just noticed this, and then I have a couple other questions, but looking at the ARPA funds account, and you have proposed budget for 2027, $800,080, $880,000.
$880,000.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
This 80,000, we proposing that we're gonna have $80,000 worth of interest.
I beg your pardon?
Okay, the 800,000 is actually earned interest. Am I correct?
Well, the 880,000 is what is in kind of rolling over for the ARPA fund.
And all that was interest earned.
Most of it was, I think there was about $57,000 of revenue recovery that was in there, but yes.
Okay. And looking over to Splosh 6, typically we've been around the number 147,900. And I noticed you have 155,000 proposed. Where is the other difference coming in? Because we're not receiving more funds for
It's interest income.
that much right there?
Well, that was for the whole year because we didn't spend any money in that fund. So it was probably about $8,000 for the whole year.
Okay. And we talked earlier about the enterprise fleet management. Is that only, and I refreshing my memory, is that only for the police department or the fire department?
No, we are proposing to have enterprise replace vehicles for fire, police, and public works.
Okay, to incorporate, have that been incorporated yet? No, yes?
Incorporated.
The fire department,
It's
I
in-
know we have
well,
the police
The
department.
police department is in the budget, the public works is in the budget. The fire department, based on the existing vehicles that they have, there's not a lease payment due during fiscal year 27. So we will budget for it in future years.
So when would which fiscal year would it be within this fiscal year that we have the first responder medical vehicle added?
Yes, they'll be added. I mean, they'll start moving forward once the budget is approved. They can start entering into the agreement for the vehicle replacements.
So for the fire department, there'll be a vehicle replacement for the pickup truck we talking about
For all of them, yes.
Okay. Now, knowing that we have had several motor vehicle accidents within the police department, of course, insurance premium goes up. How does this work with enterprise fleet as replacing cars, or is there an additional fee? How's that handled?
I would have to look at that directly, but basically they do take the insurance funds and replace the vehicles under the program.
Okay. We also, and I haven't received an answer back on that, the listener house. There was discussion about administration or some offices being moved over there. Where in this budget do we have or account for as like additional utilities? You know, because we are cutting back for as not giving the COLA, which was mentioned earlier within our discussion. How are we looking at those expenses
They're budgeted in the city buildings, in the general fund, and we basically covered the utilities for the building and repair and maintenance. There's been, a lot of work done to the building through the SPOS. So it's because of some of the repairs that were done, and then any other, like building things were covered in this year's budget. But we did put in utilities and maintenance for the upcoming year.
So you didn't answer back, but is
We-
it essential necessity that we make that move now?
We do have a response that's prepared. We just hadn't had a chance to review it and send it to you.
Yes, because we had no idea this was coming down the pipeline. How much to move, or how many offices, or?
We are planning to move the planning and development office, including the code enforcement and the housing department.
Okay, which
So
basically,
We would anticipate a presentation about that later. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, we can do that.
Thank you.
okay, and when do you anticipate this move?
They have been working, I'm not sure exactly how much because of, repairs to the building, IT equipment,
And all this came out of general fund?
all of it, well, some of it
Where's the other one coming?
would have been building improvements for SPOST and repairs. We had the fire over there, we had a roof, issue, we had some, damage from storm damage that was repaired.
So what about are any fees or monies, when you're looking at internal control, would they be collecting any monies over there? I mean,
Yes, they would probably be collecting permit fees as they do now.
so that's another logistical issue right there for us, funds being in one building, and got to float all the way over to another building, am I correct?
I would not call it a logistical issue. We have funds such as municipal court, recreation, the senior center, all of those funds are collected off-site from City Hall. And we have a cash handling policy and a deposit process that they will follow, just as all the other.
Okay. And the other question that we have, I asked about the DCA grant for the Reynolds Street College's infrastructure. Has that do we have any additional budgeted expenses for fiscal year 27?
That is a multi-year fund. Once the funds are budgeted and appropriated, they are not fiscal year. They go until the project is completed. It's a capital improvement fund.
Okay, but we also know that it's a grant money and the city has to spend the money up front and then be reimbursed. So have you ongoing capitalized the money out over these two?
That's not how it's,
Well,
that's not
explain
how
to me
it's.
how does it go? Explain, I mean, I
Okay.
don't know.
It is spent, reimbursed through the general fund cash flow, just as any grant. Every grant that we have mostly goes through the general fund cash flow. And and the grant agency, they make us have a continual circle of life for the money. It goes out and comes in the same accounts.
Okay, so the money that's going out, which is in a different fiscal year, is it budgeted out?
That's the SPOS fund. Yes,
So it's coming out the SPOS?
yes,
SPOS 22,
yes,
okay.
yes. Money that, again, it's the circle goes out of whatever fund it's budgeted in, goes out of that fund and goes back into that fund.
And it's not in the general fund?
Some of the grants are, but not that one. The Reynolds Street grant is not.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Roll, if you don't have any questions, I'll entertain a motion for the deal.
Mayor Pro Tem, I move that we consider approval of the resolution 2026-02, adoption of the fiscal year 2026-2027 budget.
I have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
Second,
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed?
I deny. Oppose.
So that motion carries 2-1. Madam Clerk, thank you.
Thank you.
Duffy. Now we'll move on to item number 9.
She said,
You can
You can still second, you can still deny. Yeah.
just move the business.
Okay, item number 9, which is consider approval to cancel our July 1st, 2026 regular scheduled commission meeting.
Mayor Pro Tem, I move that we cancel our July 1st, 2026 regular scheduled commission meeting.
I have a first, do I have a second?
Second.
First and a second, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion passes unanimously. And the last item on our agenda this evening, item number 10, consider approval of the probation services contract between the City of Brunswick, Southeast Corrections, City Attorney Court.
Yes, and I apologize for how late this was. Commissioner Atkinson Williams, I'm glad I was not your student because I felt like I'd turned my homework in late when I talked to her about this, but I do understand that it is last minute. And there was an expectation after making a determination that it was likely that the July 1st meeting would get canceled. I moved to add this, and I appreciate consideration in adding it. The current setup for Glenn County State Court, Glenn County Magistrate Court, and the City of Brunswick Municipal Court is that they are all under or have contracts with the same probation services contractor, CRSA. Obviously, the vast majority of the work done under those contracts relates to Glenn County State Court and Magistrate Court. There's just higher caseload, more numbers. We became aware that State Court and Magistrate Court were moving in a different direction. Their contracts with CRSA expired July 31st or due to expire July 31st. They have given notice and are moving with Southeast Corrections, which is the contract that's before you tonight. We did initiate, when I say we, Jason Clark, Chief Judge of the Municipal Court of the City of Brunswick, contacted me and said, hey, I understand that they are making changes, and I don't believe CRSA will continue to operate in Glenn County and will not have a caseload just based on municipal court to be able to continue to service us. Can you reach out to them and see what's going on? They confirmed that they are maintaining an office in Camden, but it would be in Kingsland. We need to have, for municipal court, we need to have a probationary office in Glenn County. So Southeast Corrections is contracted with, or is contracting with Glenn County State Court and Glenn County Magistrate Court. They are assuming the offices of CSRA in the City of Brunswick. They are downtown. They're right across from City Hall, actually. And they will be assuming the role and taking over all of current probationers. And then moving through state court, they will be providing probation services in the future for state and magistrate court beginning July 1. I also made sure to contact CRSA to discuss this with them. Their CEO and I had a very good conversation, very productive, and we exchanged emails suggesting that they would not have enough work here, that they would be willing to mutually terminate our agreement because they are moving everything to Kingsland and it's just not conducive. And therefore, I'm bringing forward the Southeast Corrections contract. There is no cost to the city. This is a probationary services contract that derives its fees from the pretrial diversion program and the probation services program and monitoring programs that they provide after a person has come through municipal court and has either been sentenced as a result of guilt or has entered a pretrial diversion program that they will be operating on our behalf. Even under the pretrial diversion program, they will go through working with us, select specific cases that we would approve for pretrial, lower level misdemeanors, speeding, stop signs, cases that so long as a person completes certain tasks, community service or defensive driving classes, anger management if they need it, and then paying their fines, that the charges of adjudication of guilt would be withheld and the charges would be dismissed. This assists people, generally speaking, in trying to maintain clean driving and or criminal histories. We often see people come through municipal court who have made a mistake very young in life. For example, if you are ever found guilty of shoplifting and you go to go through nursing school and then seek out to get your nursing license, that is a bar, a misdemeanor, as minor as it can be. A misdemeanor shoplifting charge will bar somebody from receiving a nursing license, even if they've gone through all the schooling and it was 20 years in their past. So pretrial diversion is important. We have a current program that we implement, but I think that based on what we witnessed, Judge Clark went to Bryan County where they're already operating this program and observed how they operated there. He was incredibly impressed and came back. Before we made this switch, we wanted to at least see how it was operational. They have been at the last 2 municipal court sessions. I did not know, but they had been at a previous one just to watch how our operations were held. They've been to state court. They've met with the appropriate staff over there, and they were actually this morning and this afternoon with me in municipal court. And so we actually got to converse and discuss sort of the logistics and how our courtroom works. There is a small increase in the probationary fee that a probationary would be paying from $45 to $47 a month. So it's a $2 increase. I don't believe CSRA ever increased their costs, so it's probably more along the lines of inflation or cost to do business. But the agreement does require statutory language be included. I've gone through this agreement. It is identical to the one that state court, Glenn County State Court and magistrate courts have also executed, other than we do not do electronic monitoring in municipal court. We have never done it. We do not have charges that arise to the level that would require electronic monitoring. It's not within our jurisdiction. So that part has been removed. But other than that, we do need, I won't say need because it's always a vote of this commission. They can determine however they want. We would request that the contract be approved so that we could hit the ground running, because although I believe we've just canceled the city commission meeting, we are holding municipal court on July 1st that morning. And so I would ask if possible, that the contract be approved.
Thank you, City Attorney Corey. Any questions, City Commission? I have one quick question regarding their location of where their office is going to be at. You said they're going to take over the current office.
CSRA.
Yeah, has there been any discussion about potentially relocating them, maybe closer to the county courthouse or something? It's obviously like a prime commercial spot in our kind of downtown gateway. We want it to be convenient for the people who utilize those services, but at the same time, I think there's an opportunity there maybe to explore. I don't know if it's written into the contract that that's where their office is going to be.
That is a private lease.
Okay.
And I believe because of the way it's structured, that they're assuming the lease.
Gotcha.
They did, just in general conversation this morning, talk about the renovations that they're going to go through on that building. So I do think
Okay.
there's going to be somewhat of a beautification, at least to put some time, but I certainly can ask. I just think that
It makes sense that they're taking their lease. I would just ask you
Yep.
to have maybe have that conversation with them. And again, I'm supportive of this decision to move on to a different service provider. I've heard complaints in the past about the previous service provider.
Where is it located now?
It's right on the corner of Union Street and Gloucester, across from City Hall.
Yep, just down from Maggie Mays.
Right, it has
Okay.
always been there.
Well,
Yes,
was on
it
North
has
Street-
been-
was on
Well,
North
North
for a
Street
while.
and,
But it has been at the current location for a very long time, as far as I can recall. Couple other things. It's a 1-year term, rolls over automatically unless we provide 30 days written notice of termination. I think, based on Judge Clark's observations in Bryan County, I mean, we think that it could considerably help efficiently run municipal court. I had a very good conversation with the prior probation services. We don't have anything bad to say. It just, I think, is by nature that we would not support an entire office here.
Great. Any further questions, discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor Pro Tem, I'd like to make a motion.
Go ahead.
I move for us to approve the probation services contract between the City of Brunswick and Southeast Corrections.
I have a first. Do I have a second?
Second.
First and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes unanimously. Thank you. City Attorney, do we have a need for executive session?
Yes, I believe it will be brief, but I do have two items under litigation and real estate.
Okay, we have entertain a motion for litigation and real estate to executive session.
Mayor Pro Tem, I move that we go into executive session for litigation and real estate.
The motion to adjourn to executive session for litigation and real estate. Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a first and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes unanimously. We're adjourned to executive session. Thank you. We're back. All right, we have returned from executive session. Do I have a motion?
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem, I have a motion. I move to approve the recommendation for litigation.
I have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes unanimously. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mayor Pro Tem, I move that we adjourn the meeting.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, hearing none, the motion passes and we are adjourned.